Siddhi Bahuddeshiya Sevabhavi Sanstha Ahmadpur, I welcome all on occasion of national webinar on Corona, its psychology, treatment and prevention. As we all know, the world is facing the crisis which are due to COVID-19. Considering this, Siddhi Bahuddeshiya Sevabhavi Sanstha has organized this webinar which will be helpful to the society. Dr. Vaibhav Reddy, consulting orthopedician, Reddy Hospital, Ahmadpur, has taken all efforts in organizing this webinar with his friends as resource persons who are the renowned experts in their diverse fields. Friends, Sri Sanjay Patil, who is a friend and colleague of mine, has contributed a lot by offering the technical support which is needed to this webinar. Once again, I welcome all the resource persons and the participants in this webinar. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Vaibhav Reddy. I am a consulting orthopedician at Ahmadpur district, Latur, Maharashtra. I am also associated with Rotary International since last 15 years for the social cause. We are the group of old classmates from our MBBS days. We have a very active group on WhatsApp and we are in touch with each other on day-to-day basis regarding the treatment part and the prevention and the post-COVID era, how one has to behave, how society has to behave. Somewhere we all thought that we should share our experiences with the eminent observers or the elite group of the society so that they can spread and they can understand what is the COVID and what challenges we are facing and we will be facing in the future regarding the betterment of the mankind. For that, the 5 speakers who will be sharing their experiences, they are the eminent doctors and the most successful people. Not only that, they are serving the society because Dr. Kasegaonkar and Dr. Andhare, they have offered their hospitals for the COVID care at very minimum cost without thinking of the money they can make. Also, Dr. K.K. Mench and Dr. Prasad Pore, they are serving through the government health services. Dr. Pore is a preventive medicine expert, so he will be sharing his experiences. Also, Dr. Swarup Bharadi, who is a prominent cardiologist based at Hyderabad, and he is associated with AIG hospitals, and his hospital is also having the corona care facility. He will be sharing his experiences. All the 5 speakers will be speaking on 5 different subjects which will be very helpful for you to know what is corona, how it spreads, how to avoid it and how to boost your immunity and confidence for you and your family members. You can also forward this to your relatives and the loved ones. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me introduce Dr. Prasanna Kasegaonkar, who is a MD-DM neurophysician, who is the chairman of the Chandan Neurosciences. The hospital is 110 bedded facility, and in this corona era he has offered it as a COVID dedicated hospital to government authorities and is working 24/7 along with his staff. He was also the all-time topper of our batch and very close friend of mine. And also he had suffered the corona-like fever a few days back. That's why he has given the topic of psychology of the corona patient and how to improve and how to boost up the morale of the corona positive patient and his families. Thank you.
Namaskar. I am Dr. Prasanna Kasegaonkar, consultant neurologist and chairman of Chandan Neurosciences Hospital at Solapur. First of all, right at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Vaibhav Reddy for inviting me to talk on an important topic of psychological effects of coronavirus pandemic across the globe on the patients as well as healthcare workers. Friends, coronavirus has affected maybe 1% population or less all across the globe. People, I mean, if there is a population of around 7 trillion over the world, maybe 1 crore people are affected as of now. So the percentage of population that is affected actually is very, very less. However, the psychological impact of this particular pandemic has been all over. It has been to every individual on earth. The person who has received information has gone through at least some psychological changes so far. There has been an epidemic. This epidemic has been going from December 2019 and it's still going strong. Maybe in India it may last for another few months before it will actually die down. But the infodemic, that is the epidemic of the information, has been a bigger problem. It has been a blessing, no doubt, but it has been a bigger problem. How this is a problem, I'm going to explain in next few minutes of my talk. There has been a mass hysteria. People have gone through emotions. People have feared. People have been absolutely panicking. The world has been under the shadow of fear. It has been something like World War over last few years. I'm going to talk about various aspects of psychological impacts on various different parts of society in this coming topic. Now, let me first start about the corona positivity as an impact. And I'll start with a simple example. I recently met a man who didn't know me. So we were talking to each other. I was wearing mask. He was wearing mask and we were around 6 feet, 7 feet distance from each other and we were talking nicely. And then he inquired, "Sir, what do you do?" And then I said, "I am working presently in a COVID hospital." And to my surprise, that man moved back 3 feet and then again started talking. He was completely startled. So I am not a corona patient. I have been a health worker who has been working for corona patients for last 3 months, and there is a stigma about me working for corona patients. So this is what is the coronaphobia. This is a sort of a classic example about the coronaphobia which has been raging through the world. There is a huge stigma about corona patients and more importantly about healthcare workers. People in my hospital who have been living in various parts of Solapur, there have been lab workers, staff nurses, doctors, even mama maushis. The people who stay around those people, around their homes, they don't allow our people to go back to their homes. They fear कि बाबा ये कोरोना में काम कर रहा है तो हमको हो जाएगा. So there has been so much fear about the stigma of being corona positive. It has been there for the patients, but it has been there far bigger for healthcare professionals. We have been in the eye of storm for absolutely no reason. That has been a really sad story about coronaphobia in Solapur and all across the world. People, because of this fear, people also try and hide the history because they don't want to be declared as corona positive. So if they are in contact with some person who has been corona positive, or if they have been to area which has been so-called hotspots, they will hide that history if they have some problems because they don't want that stamp of being corona positive, and that leads to further problems because they will present late, they will have more likely to have bigger complications including death as a result of corona. Now let me talk about psychological impact of corona on people who are quarantined as well as those people who are being kept in isolation. So let's talk of quarantine. Let's talk of, first of all, when the whole country was locked down, what happened to people? So initially all were happy. Wow, there's a lockdown. I have been working so hard all these days. Now I get a holiday that I deserve. So people enjoyed at home. They stayed at home. They enjoyed quality time with family, played cards, did something for their health, watched television, enjoyed good time. And then subsequently this lockdown was extended. From 15 days it became 3 weeks, then it became 1 month, then it became 1.5 months and 2 months. And then their problem started. Because now there was too much of good thing, you stop enjoying that. Then financial pressures started coming up. People started having layoffs, so their salaries got cut. There was too much time with the family, so what will you do? And then there was a tendency of breaking the rules. So people started coming out on the streets, mixing with each other, doing secret parties, and this led to even worse outcomes all over India, as you know. So people have gone through range of emotions during the period of lockdown. When it comes to a person who is a suspect case or a confirmed case, their psychology is completely different. First of all, they start fearing, they get panicky, they start thinking that I'm going to die. People unfortunately follow the bad news. So mind you, the government's reported death rate is around 3% or maybe 4%. So of 100 people who are reported, only 3 die, 97 survive and go home. Those who die, we all know, they are people who are elderly, they are having multiple risk factors. So usually youngsters, middle-aged people, or even elderly with few comorbidities, most of them do well. But there is a fear. People become absolutely psychos when they get admitted because they are left in solitude. This is a different admission when such people are admitted in various corona or COVID care centers or COVID hospital, dedicated hospitals. They are left alone because all relatives are not alone. And once they are there for 10 days all alone, they start thinking. In Marathi, they say, man chinti, te vairi na chinti. And that is exactly what is happening to such people. They start thinking of death, I'm going to die. And then it becomes a bigger problem to us managing their mind more than managing their health. Well, how do we handle that? I'm going to tell you in the latter part of my talk. And there has been a stigmatization of the family as well. If some patient becomes corona positive, then the entire family in that particular gully or mohalla is looked upon with suspicion. Of course, government is doing a good job by isolating them, by doing their corona test and then stamping them as positive or negative, and doing small pockets of isolation. But however, the fear around the in surrounding houses is far too much. Well, it doesn't end here. We live in a modern era of media. So there has been a print media, there has been a television media, and there has been a huge gambit of social media. So there is a WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Insta. So all these social media platforms as well as medias, general medias, have been contributing to the information as well as unfortunately the misinformation which is going across the globe. You must have come across a term called as WhatsApp doctors. Because now so many non-medical people, they just collect some information and they forward it. Well, part of that may be a correct information, but large part of that is a bad information. There are claims of some Bhondu Baba claiming some magical cure. So those videos get forwarded. Some home remedies which have got absolutely no scientific basis, like you drink a lot of hot water and there will be no corona, or you eat some elaichi and then you will get saved from corona. So such things do not have any scientific, of course it may not cause any harm, but however it just spreads false information through the community. So that needs to be really controlled. As a citizen, as a responsible citizen, we should try and forward only that information which is given to us by doctors which are credible, not by quacks and definitely not by general people. So this is something which I will appeal all of you. Before you forward some information regarding coronavirus, please don't spread panic and please don't spread any false information. Well, unfortunately, I will like to add one small comment on the role of media about the doctors. Well, in true sense, we have been at the forefront. Don't you think we are at the highest risk when we are handling an epidemic of corona? We are the people who face actual corona patients. Many of our colleagues have suffered from corona, few of them have died. But unfortunately, media does many a times project us in bad light. And such little petty information about sometimes about some bills or sometimes about some alleged treatment problems spread like wildfire on WhatsApp as well as various other social media, and that kind of disheartens us. We have been working hard. We have been a prey actually when this comes to managing corona. However, these problems have been really disheartening us all these days. So I would request all of you to please stop spreading misinformation about private hospitals as well as government hospitals. We have been working hard in this war. So this is one particular request. And of course, it affects us also. We are human beings. We have a family. So when it has affected our psychology as well. So when I come to the hospital, I fear for my child, I fear for my parents and my in-laws who are elderly, who are at home, and I fear for myself as well. So we have been passing through various problems related to our own psychology, and we need to be taken care. I know few doctors who, when they contracted corona, they got so panicky because they knew what can happen to a patient. They started panicking heavily, and then they said ki I'm going to die. One doctor friend of mine called up his wife and he told her where his insurance papers are if he dies. Of course, fortunately that doctor survived, but this is what happens to us also. We are also human beings. So it's a request to society to please take care of the doctors, because we are there fighting for you. So you please fight for us. At least keep good opinion about us. Corona has been affecting children and elderly as well. So in general, children are happy because parents are giving them lots of time because there is lesser work in general. But however, when one of the family member becomes corona positive and is isolated, children fear very heavily. They go in tremendous psychological stress and they need to be taken care by the remaining people in the family. Similarly, all old people all over the globe have been isolated to small confinements. They are not allowed to go outside. So they can't take care of their health. They can't walk around. They can't stroll. So it is also started becoming depressing for many elderly people, and we have to add some mood stabilizers or antidepressive medications to such patients. So corona has been affecting everywhere. Well, let me come to general public right now. What does general public think about corona? And again, as I said, people have gone through various stages in corona. सबसे पहले it started with अपने को कुछ नहीं होएगा. People first started thinking in India. People thought कि corona will go everywhere, but it will not come to a high class India, because we face so many germs. It will not come to us because it started spreading in summer. So in summer all the bugs die, and then India will not have any corona. But however, corona has been strong enough to prove us wrong. And then there are stages of fear. Once this symptom of apne ko kuch nahi hoega, it slowly grips onto stages of fear. So how do they start? So it starts with the first case in the town, then a first death in that town. Then there are spreads of more and more cases in the town, and then you start seeing more and more deaths in that town. So these are the time when the fear starts creeping in. People still do not fear about corona till it reaches themselves or their family. So I think there have been two types of people in general. Apart from few sensible people who have followed what government guidelines have been, few people have been extremely overconfident and they think mere ko kuch nahi hoega, and they go on breaking rules and contract corona in some way or the other. And there are other types who have been extremely cautious. They have been paranoid about corona and they mistreat other people, suspecting that everybody around them is having corona. So it is important to be wise, follow guidelines, and not to fear about corona. Well, what do we do when we handle fear psychosis in corona? So in our hospital, Chandan Neurosciences Hospital, which is a dedicated COVID care center and an NABH accredited hospital. That means we provide a quality care at an extremely affordable cost, world-class care at an affordable cost. We are not just taking care of the patients in terms of pharmacotherapy, we are also trying to help them holistically. So we take care of the diet based on the patient's individual health requirements, the diet changes. We also give them Ayush Mantralaya supported or recommended kadha to all patients of corona patients, and most importantly we take care of the psychological impact as well. So we have a in-house clinical counselor. So she's the counselor, she roams around through the hospital, keeps on talking with the patients. She infuses confidence in them, and she tells them that things will be all right. It's not all that bad as it is projected all over the world. If the patients are not better with counseling, our psychiatrist will come over and he will add few medications to help patient to calm down. But however, most important is we ourselves and the staff of CNS hospital who actually becomes the family of the patient, and they keep on taking care throughout the entire stay of the hospital, and this gives them such a confidence at the end of the day when they get discharged. They are so happy. They always say that CNS family has taken care. But I'm sure not just my hospital, all across the world, in my city, other hospitals as well are doing this fantastic job. So we as doctors, we are taking care of such patients. Now I'm going to, just before signing off, I'm going to talk about two more things. First is what COVID has taught us. Well, of course there has been a panic, we all have suffered, but there's something which COVID has taught us. First of all, importance of health. And as WHO defines, health is not just absence of illness, but it's a complete well-being which is physical, social, psychological and spiritual. So we have to take care of our own health, we have to take care of our family, we have to take care of our society, and we have to keep our minds calm spiritually. So this corona pandemic has all taught us to treat ourselves towards more healthier life. The importance of family time has been reiterated because of various gadgets coming over. The family time, people are becoming busy. The family time has gone down over last decades so much. Now people have understood the importance of family and spending quality time with the family. There has been reduced expenditure. Even marriages have been low cost. So the extravagance just to show off, I'm great. And then people spend so much money which is sometimes unnecessary. That has gone down. I'm sure few things will change post-corona permanently. And the last point which I'm going to make is how do we prevent this psychological burden? First of all, follow whatever government guidelines are. Government is working for you. All doctors are working for you. Whatever your doctors say, whatever your government say, please follow them. Don't overdo it, and please don't underdo it. Well, where does the stress come from finally? Money. It's all finances. And unfortunately, expenditure on health is an unwanted financial expenditure. People will go and happily spend for gold. People will go and spend happily for a party. People will go and spend happily for a family function. But when it comes to health, people are extremely unhappy to spend money. Now, why does this happen? Because in India, people do not save money for health expenditure. So there are two ways you can save this problem. One you can just save small amount of money for sudden medical emergencies which may come in coming years. Or the simplest way is to do a health insurance. If you do a health insurance, the money is petty, which is required. Money is very, very petty. However, God forbid, if any person falls sick, it's the insurance company which will take care of your expenses, and you will not really feel sad, and obviously the stresses will come down. So I thank you for a patient listening, and I wish you all a great health. Thank you. Namaskar.
It gives me immense pleasure today to introduce you to Dr. Sanjay Andhare, MD Medicine, who is a gold medalist of his time and all the time topper of our batch. He is working as a consulting physician and intensivist at Barshi district, Solapur. He is having his own hospital, which is a 60-bedded setup, and he has offered his hospital in these days for the dedicated COVID care at very minimum cost, and he and his team, along with his staff and other physicians, working 24/7 without thinking of their own lives and wellness for the corona patients. And his topic today will be the treatment of COVID-19, past, present and future. I think he will be the best person to talk on this. So Dr. Sanjay Andhare.
नमस्कार, मी डॉक्टर संजय अंधारे. माझं बार्शीतलं डेडिकेटेड कोविड हॉस्पिटल म्हणून डिक्लेअर केलं. त्यानंतर हे ट्रीटमेंट जे आहे ते सगळी ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉलाइज ट्रीटमेंट असते आणि ह्या ट्रीटमेंटविषयीच मला आज बोलायचं आहे. पहिल्यांदा मी असं म्हणेल की ILI आणि सारी ह्या दोन गोष्टी थोड्याशा कॉमनली वापरल्या गेल्या आहेत. ILI म्हणजे इन्फ्लुएन्झा लाईक सिम्पटम्स आणि सारीमध्ये सिव्हिअर ॲक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी इन्फेक्शन. हे सर्वेलन्स डेफिनेशन म्हणून वापरलं गेलेलं आहे. म्हणजे ज्यांना ताप आहे, खोकला आहे, सर्दी झाली आहे, या अशा सगळ्या लोकांना घसा खवखवतो आहे, ह्याला आपण ILI म्हणतो. आणि सारीमध्ये सिव्हिअर ॲक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रॅक इन्फेक्शन, ज्याच्यामध्ये पेशंटचा धाप लागते, ताप असतो आणि शरीरातलं ऑक्सिजनचं प्रमाण कमी होतं, त्याला सारी म्हणतात. याला सर्व्हिलन्स डेफिनेशन म्हणून वापरलं गेलेलं आहे. सारी हा आजार नाही, सारी हा एक ग्रुप ऑफ डिसीज आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये COVID-19 पण आहे, स्वाईन फ्लू पण आहे, बॅक्टेरियल निमोनिया पण आहे. कुठल्या प्रकारचा निमोनिया हा सारीमध्ये बसू शकतो. पण हे डायग्नोसिस करताना सारी हा त्याचा इनिशियल पॉईंट मांडला गेलेला आहे. ILI हा मायनर रेस्पिरेटरी अप्पर रेस्पिरेटरी सिम्पटम्स आहेत आणि सारे हे मेजर रेस्पिरेटरी सिम्पटम्स आहेत. मग आता व्हायरसला ट्रीटमेंट नाही तर मग ह्याला ट्रीटमेंट कशी आहे? डायग्नोसिस करण्यासाठी 2-3 गोष्टीची मदत घेतली जाते. सिंपल गोष्टी 2-3 आहेत. एक, तुमचे सिम्पटम्स. सो क्लिनिकली सस्पिशियस, तुम्ही एक्सपोज झालात, कॉन्टॅक्टमध्ये आलात, तर यू आर क्लिनिकली सस्पिशियस. दुसरं आहे टेम्परेचर. तिसरं आहे पल्स ऑक्सिमेट्री, ऑक्सिजनचं सॅच्युरेशन. आता कोविड केअर सेंटरमध्ये जे पेशंट आहेत ते सगळे असिम्प्टमॅटिक आहेत, त्यामुळे त्यांचं फक्त थर्मल स्कॅनिंग, टेम्परेचर आणि त्यांना SCQSची गोळी दिली जाते. आणि बाकी काही सिम्पटम्स असतील, सर्दी आहे तर अझिथ्रोमायसिन दिलं जातं, कफ सिरप दिलं जातं आणि त्यांना हाय प्रोटीन डाएट ॲडवाईज केलं जातं आणि ते आयसोलेटेड असतात, क्वारंटाईन पिरियडमध्ये असतात. हा 14 दिवसाचा होता, आता 10 दिवसाचा केला आहे. कोविड हेल्थ सेंटरमध्ये काय चालतं आणि गाईडलाईन्स अपडेट होत आता आत्ता जे फॉलो केलं जातं त्याच्यामध्ये या गोष्टी माइल्डमध्ये काय, मॉडरेट टू सिव्हिअरमध्ये काय आणि क्रिटिकलमध्ये काय. तर माइल्ड ज्यावेळेला इन्फेक्शन आहे त्यावेळेला तुम्हाला काही ट्रीटमेंटची गरज नसते, तुम्ही सेल्फ क्वारंटाईन होऊ शकता. म्हणजे तुम्ही कोविड पॉझिटिव्ह आहात, तुम्हाला ट्रीटमेंटची गरज आहे, पण व्हायरल इन्फेक्शन आहे, काही स्पेसिफिक ट्रीटमेंटची गरज नाही. तुम्ही सेल्फ क्वारंटाईन होऊन तुम्ही सिम्पटमॅटिक ट्रीटमेंट घेऊ शकता आणि आयसोलेट करून, रेस्ट घेऊन, चांगलं डाएट घेऊन, चांगली झोप घेऊन, प्राणायाम योगासनं करून तुम्ही स्वतःला त्यातनं बरं करू शकता. पण जर तुम्ही सारीच्या ग्रुपमध्ये गेला, ज्याला आपण मॉडरेट टू सिव्हिअर क्लास म्हणतो आहे, तर त्याला डायग्नोसिसला आपण एक्सरे, CT स्कॅन केला, ह्या बाकीच्या टेस्ट केल्यानंतर आपल्याला कळतं की या पेशंटला आणखी ॲडिशनल काही प्रॉब्लेम येऊ शकतात. आता अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग जे आहेत, आतापर्यंत वेगवेगळे ड्रग ट्राय केले गेले. आपल्या प्रोटोकॉलमध्ये अजूनही ते सारीच्या ग्रुपमध्ये फ्लुव्हिर असलेला ड्रग आहेच आहे. अझिथ्रोमायसिन इन आउट होतं आहे, HCQS इन आउट होतं आहे. अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग कुठले आहेत तर लोपिनाविर, रिटनोविर हे जे कॉम्बिनेशन आहे ते पहिल्यांदा वापरलं गेलं. नंतर लक्षात आलं की ह्याचा काही फारसा उपयोग होत नाही, ट्रायल्समध्ये ते इतकं काही इफेक्टिव्ह असलं नाही, त्यामुळे ते ड्रग त्यातनं आता ऑलमोस्ट आउटडेटेड झाले. आता फॅबिफ्लू हे सगळ्यांनी आपल्याला नाव, फ्लॅविपिर हे जॅपानीज ड्रग आहे आणि ते माइल्ड केसेसमध्ये तुम्ही वापरू शकता, अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग. दुसरं रेमडेसिवीर नावाचं ड्रग आहे आणि हे ड्रग मॉडरेट टू सिव्हिअर क्लासमध्ये वापरतात. IV ड्रग आहे, थोडंसं कॉस्टली आहे. म्हणजे साधारणतः एका पेशंटला 6 व्हायलची गरज लागते असं आपण गृहीत धरलं तर एक 34-35 हजाराच्या आसपास त्याची कॉस्ट जाते. अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग. त्याच्यानंतर पेशंटला अँटीबायोटिक्स कुठले द्यायचे तर तुम्ही सेफ्ट्रायझनपासून पिप्रसिन टाझोबॅक्टमपर्यंत हे सुपर ॲडेड बॅक्टेरियल इन्फेक्शन दिले जातात. त्याला व्हायरससाठी हे काही अँटीबायोटिक्सचा काही रोल नसतो. पण आत्ताच्या घडीला, आत्ताच्या मोमेंटला रेमडेसिवीर हे ड्रग सगळ्यांनी ॲक्सेप्ट केलेलं ड्रग आहे. आणि जरी मी काही 2-3 उदाहरणावर म्हणत असलो तर खूप चांगले ड्रग आहे. फक्त अवेलेबिलिटीचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे. आपल्याकडं सिप्ला आणि हेट्रोफार्मा हे मार्केटमध्ये आणलेले आहे त्यांनी. आणि अवेलेबिलिटी जरी लिमिटेड असली तरी जर ज्यांना जनरली गरज आहे, ज्याचा व्हायरेमिया जास्त आहे, त्याला हे ड्रग खूप उपयुक्त आहे. हा ट्रीटमेंटचा एक भाग झाला. अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग्स तर 2 ड्रग सांगितले. फ्लॅविपिर त्याचा डोस थोडासा जास्त आहे. डोस 1800 mg डे 1ला, नंतर 800 mg, म्हणजे 9 गोळ्या सकाळी, 9 गोळ्या संध्याकाळी खायच्यात पेशंटनं. आणि दुसऱ्या दिवसापासून 4 गोळ्या सकाळी, 4 गोळ्या संध्याकाळी, 800 mg BID. आणि माइल्ड केसमध्ये वापरत आहे. मॉडरेट टू सिव्हिअरमध्ये आपल्याला रेमडेसिवीर वापरायचं आहे. मिळत नव्हतं, मिळतं आहे. थोडंसं आणखी प्रॉब्लेम आहे. गव्हर्नमेंट त्यासाठी ट्राय करते. 2 फार्मा कंपन्या त्यामध्ये आहेत आणि रिझल्ट रेमडेसिवीरचे खूप चांगले आहे असं मलाही वाटतं. आता अँटीबायोटिक्स वापरले, ऑक्सिजन दिला, अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग वापरले, आणखी काय होऊ शकतं पेशंटला? थ्रोम्बोसिस. हा व्हायरस थ्रोम्बोजेनिक आहे. तर हा थ्रोम्बोजेनिक व्हायरस आहे म्हणजे तो काय करतो की आपल्या फुफ्फुसातल्या रक्तवाहिन्यामध्येच ब्लड क्लॉट तयार करतो. आणि तो ब्लड क्लॉट झाल्यानंतर ऑक्सिजन लंग्समध्ये जरी गेला तर तो रक्तवाहिन्यात पोचत नाही, त्यामुळे शरीरात पोचत नाही. आणि त्यावेळेला आपण बघतो पल्स ऑक्सिमेट्रीवरती किंवा हॉस्पिटलमध्ये आर्टेरियल ब्लड गॅसवरती, त्यावेळेला तो ऑक्सिजनचं प्रमाण फार कमी दिसायला लागतं आपल्याला. त्यामुळे पेशंटला ऑक्सिजनची गरज आहेच आहे. पण मग या पेशंटला हिपॅरिनची पण गरज आहे, कारण हा थ्रोम्बोजेनिक व्हायरस आहे, त्याला हिपॅरिनची गरज लागणार आहे. त्यामुळे तुम्हाला हिपॅरिन पण देतात. पेशंटला जर हायपॉक्सिया असेल, ऑक्सिजनचं प्रमाण कमी असेल तर LMWH हे ड्रग जे आहे ते 0.40 mg सबक्यूट BID या डोसमध्ये वापरलं जातं. ते युजली हृदयविकारामध्ये फार कॉमन वापरलं जातं किंवा ज्या ठिकाणी बॉडीमध्ये क्लॉटिंग होतं त्या ठिकाणी वापरतात. पण हा थ्रोम्बोजिक व्हायरस असल्यामुळे ह्याच्यामध्ये पण ते वापरलं जाते. तिसरं आहे अँटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग कुठलं वापरायचं का? तर हो, अगोदर सगळेजण मिथाइल प्रेडनिसोलोन वापरत होते. 40 mg BID ते सुद्धा ड्रग होतं. पण आजकाल डेक्सामेथॅझोन या ड्रगविषयी आणखी ICMRनं पण गाईडलाईनमध्ये सांगितलं यू कॅन यूज दॅट. इज अ चिपर ड्रग. मिथिन प्रेडनिसोलोन पण फार कॉस्टली ड्रग नाही आहे, पण डेक्सामेथॅझोन खूप चिपर आहे. त्याची कॉस्ट हार्डली ₹1.5-2 हार्डली आहे. मिथिल प्रेडनिसोलची कॉस्ट पण खूप जास्त नाही, ₹1,200 मिळतं ते. सो अँटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग म्हणून त्याचा वापर करतो आपण. अँटी क्लॉटिंग ड्रग म्हणून हिपॅरिनचा वापर करतो. आणि हे ड्रग पेशंटला आपण 5 दिवसापर्यंत देतो. परंतु जर पेशंटला सिम्पटम्स राहिले, तुम्हाला जर वाटलं की फिजिशियनला वाटलं की नाही पेशंटला अजून ऑक्सिजन इम्प्रूव्ह होत नाही आहे, एक्सरेवरचे शॅडो इम्प्रूव्ह होत नाही आहेत, तर तुम्ही ते कंटिन्यू पण करू शकता. इवन ॲट द टाईम ऑफ डिस्चार्ज काही पेशंटला आम्ही टॅपरिंग डोसमध्ये स्टिरॉइड्स आणि हिपॅरिन किंवा ओरल अँटीकोॲग्युलंट पण देऊन घरी पाठवतो. हे 30 दिवसापर्यंत दिलं तरी चालतं. अर्थात ह्याला याच्यावर थोड्याशा कॉन्ट्रोवर्सी असतील, ओपिनियन डिफरन्स असतील, पण अँटीकोॲग्युलेशन इम्पॉर्टंट आहे कारण हे थ्रोम्बोजेनिक व्हायरस आहे. आता हा झाला पहिला पार्ट ह्या आजाराचा. दुसरा भाग असा आहे की सायटोकाईन स्टॉर्म. पेशंट पहिल्यांदा स्टेबल असतो 7-8 दिवसापर्यंत. 8व्या दिवशी अचानक पेशंटचं ऑक्सिजनचं प्रमाण आणखी कमी व्हायला लागतं. 7व्या-8व्या दिवशी एक्सरेवरचे शॅडो वाढतात. आणखी एक मार्कर आहे सिरम फेरिटीन म्हणून केला जातो, तो वाढतो. CRP सी रिॲक्टिव्ह प्रोटीन ते वाढतं. आणि जर शक्य असेल तर इंटरल्युकिन 6 हा एक मार्कर आहे इंटरल्युकिन, तो वाढतो. आणि एक्सरे शॅडो वाढतात, फेरिटिन वाढतं, ऑक्सिजनचं प्रमाण कमी व्हायला लागतं आणि आम्ही असं लक्षात येतं की हा पेशंट बहुतेक सायटोकाईन स्टॉर्ममध्ये चालला आहे, हा पण एक डेडली इव्हेंट असू शकतो. आता हा डेडली इव्हेंट आपण कसं थांबवणार किंवा कसं त्याच्यावर मात करणार, तर त्याला काय ट्रीटमेंट काही आहे का? तर हे ऑफ लेवल इंडिकेशन म्हणतात त्याला. टोसिलिझुमॅब हे ड्रग आहे, 400 mg इन्फ्युजनमध्ये दिलं जातं आणि त्या सायटोकाईन स्टॉर्मवरती एक 24-48 आवर्समध्ये डेफिनेटली त्याच्यामध्ये इम्प्रूव्हमेंट दिसते. मी 4-5 पेशंटमध्ये वापरलं, एक्सेलंट रिझल्ट्स आहेत. आणि पेशंट सायटोकाईन स्टॉर्ममधून एकदा बाहेर आला, वायरेमियामधून बाहेर आला, तर तो पेशंट ऑक्सिजनवरती पण बाहेर येतो आणि पेशंट रिकव्हरी स्टेजमध्ये असतो आणि डिस्चार्ज येऊ शकतो. बिफोर डिस्चार्ज वी सेंड अ स्वॅब अँड दॅट स्वॅब शुड बी निगेटिव्ह. मग डेथ कोणाची होती आहे? जे कोमॉर्बिड्स आहेत त्या लोकांना मात्र हे सायटोकाईन स्टॉर्म आलं आणि जर कोमॉर्बिडिटी असतील तर इवन विथ बेस्ट ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट हे जे 5% लोक आहेत, 80, 15 आणि 5, तर 80% तर लोकांना काही होणारच नाही आहे. 15% लोकांना हा थोडा त्रासदायक आजार होऊ शकतो, पण त्यांना आपण मृत्यूपासून वाचवू शकतो जे पॉसिबल ट्रीटमेंट आहे. 5% लोकांना मात्र वाचवणं थोडं अवघड जातं, पण काही लोक त्यातले रिस्पॉन्ड करतात आणि आजही त्याचा मृत्यूदर 2% असाच पकडला जातो आहे. आता हे अँटीव्हायरल ड्रग्स, अँटीबायोटिक्स, हेपॅरिन, टोसिलिझुमॅब या ड्रगविषयी मी बोललो तुमच्याशी. आणखी एक गोष्ट करतात त्याच्यामध्ये, एक इंटरेस्टिंग गोष्ट आहे, सोपी गोष्ट आहे, त्याला काही ₹1 लागत नाही. त्याला म्हणतात CARP प्रोटोकॉल, कोविड अवेक रिपोझिशनिंग आणि प्रोनिंग. याच्यामध्ये काय करतात, पेशंटला 2 तास आपल्या नेहमीच्या पोझिशनमध्ये झोपलेला असतो, त्याला थोडंसं बॅक रेस्ट देऊन प्रॉप्टअप केलेला असतो. तो राईट लॅटरल म्हणजे उजव्या अंगावर, डाव्या अंगावर, आणि अक्षरशः आपण पालतं झोपतो तसं पालतं झोपायचं, मान एका साईडला ठेवायची, पेशंटला ऑक्सिजन चालू असेल किंवा नसेल. पण पालतं झोपल्यानंतर सुद्धा पेशंटच्या शरीरातलं ऑक्सिजनचं प्रमाण वाढतं. सो टार्गेट इज टू इम्प्रूव्ह द ऑक्सिजनेशन एनी हाव विथ ऑक्सिजन. आणि ऑक्सिजनचं जर एखादं प्रमाण नाही वाढलं तर त्याला व्हेंटिलेटर. आणि शेवटी पेशंट जर याच्यातूनही ऑक्सिजन त्याचं इम्प्रूव्ह होत नसेल तर त्याला व्हेंटिलेट केलं जातं. म्हणजे त्याला प्रॉपर इंट्युबेशन करून, मी 2-3 शब्द वापरेल की त्याला व्हिडिओ एंडोस्कोपिक इंट्युबेशन, ॲक्रिलिक बॉक्स असतो, डॉक्टरने पूर्ण PPE किट घातलेलं असतं, कारण इथं एरोसोल जनरेशन खूप असतं, म्हणजे व्हायरल पार्टिकल खूप बाहेर पडू शकतात आणि त्यामुळं जो प्रोसिजर करतो, जो हेल्थ केअर वर्कर आहे, तोही अफेक्ट होण्याची शक्यता असते. अशा वेळेला विथ ऑल ड्यू प्रिकॉशन्स त्या पेशंटला इंट्युबेट करून व्हेंटिलेटर घेतलं जातं आणि व्हेंटिलेटरवरती पण 100% FiO2 ऑक्सिजन देऊन त्याला त्यातनं बाहेर काढण्याचा प्रयत्न केला जातो. याच्यामध्ये मात्र मॉर्टॅलिटी इवन बेस्ट ऑफ सेंटर अमेरिका, युरोप 80% लोक इंट्युबेट केलेले पेशंट इम्प्रूव्ह नाही झाले, 20% लोक इम्प्रूव्ह झाले. त्यामुळं ती मात्र धोक्याची घंटा असू शकते की एकदा तुम्ही इंट्युबेट व्हेंटिलेट झाला, मृत्यू होईल असं नाही, पण 80% 10तल्या 8 पेशंट मात्र मृत्यू होण्याची शक्यता जास्त. हे अमेरिकेतलं स्टॅटिस्टिक्स आहे, भारतातलं स्टॅटिस्टिक्स अजून तयार व्हायचं आहे. इंट्युबेट केल्यानंतर किती पेशंट चांगले झाले. आणि मग एकदा जर ते ओल्ड एज असेल, ते सायटोकाईन स्टॉर्ममध्ये गेलं असेल, इंट्युबेट झाला असेल, तर मृत्यू मात्र जवळ आला, समीप आला असं म्हणावं लागतं. पण आपण आता ज्या आपल्याला उपलब्ध उपचार पद्धती आहेत त्या उपचार पद्धतीतून पेशंटला जर प्रॉपर क्लासिफाय करून पेशंटला जर ते हायपॉक्सिया अर्ली डिटेक्ट केला, टेम्परेचर त्यात चांगलं कंट्रोल केलं, जे अवेलेबल ड्रग्ज वापरले, तरीही आपण 95% तर नक्कीच, राहिलेल्या 5% काही लोकांना आपण वाचू शकतो. हेच गोष्टी आहेत आणि ह्या गोष्टीचा उपयोग करून पेशंटला आपल्याला ह्या करोनाच्या मृत्यूच्या जाळ्यातून बाहेर काढता येतं. धन्यवाद. थँक्यू.
Our next speaker today will be Dr. Swarup G. Baradi, who is a consultant cardiologist at AIG Hospitals, that is Asian Institute of Gastroenterology Hospital, Hyderabad, of cardiac division. He has done more than 10,000 cardiac procedures at high-risk patients and he has been there in very different countries for these research and to present his papers. Today he will be explaining us about the risk of corona and the treatment of COVID-19 in the high-risk patients of cardiac diseases, hypertension and diabetes mellitus and elderly patients. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, greetings of the day. I am Dr. Swaroop G. Bharadi, Consultant Cardiologist, AIG Hospital, Hyderabad. At the outset, I wish you all happy and healthy life, and I hope you are taking care of yourself and your family. So in the course of next 5 minutes, we'll discuss what are the effects of COVID infection and its effect on the heart. So one of the commonest question which has been asked to us is, are the patients with established heart diseases like post bypass surgery, post angioplasty stenting or post wall surgeries or post pacemaker implantations or patients with diabetes and hypertension, do they have increased risk of getting COVID infection or do they get a serious COVID infection? The answer is yes. The patients with established heart diseases or like patients with diabetes or the hypertension, they have increased risk of getting a COVID infection more than the patients, those who don't have established heart diseases, and at times they can get a serious COVID infection. But good part is, with the standard precautions like hand sanitization, social distancing and uses of mask, the risk can be substantially negated and substantially reduced that to the the risk patients without heart disease in the society they have. So good part is prevention has got a significant role in preventing COVID infection in patients with established heart diseases. The second question which has been asked frequently is, are all the medicines which are used for the diabetes or hypertension or the heart diseases, are they safe, or whether one needs to change some of the medicines. Initially there was some concern that certain group of antihypertensive medicines like ARBs or ACE inhibitors, which are commonly prescribed, they increase the risk of getting getting a COVID infection in a patient, those who are taking it. But then subsequent studies have rebutted that claim, and now it has been clear and it has been clarified by the WHO and various societies that all the medicines, all antihypertensive medicines, all diabetic medicines or anti-diabetes medicines or medicines which are used for the common heart disorders are safe in the middle of the COVID infection, and one need not change them abruptly. If at all some changes have to be done, they have to be under supervision and under physician guidance. If you change these medicines abruptly or in a panic state, it will cause more harm than the medicines per se. So all cardiac medicines, all antihypertensives, all anti-diabetic medicines are safe and do not change without guidance of your physician. The third commonest question which has been asked to us is, how does the COVID infection affect the heart? Does it affect the heart directly? To answer to that question is yes. In 5% of the cases or maybe less than that, COVID can affect the heart directly, and then that can lead to a serious form of disease where the COVID affects the heart and it leads to the poor pumping of the heart, and then that leads to the circulatory shock and a very severe form of disease. But that is very rare. I mean, it is less than 5% of the cases, and that is in the late in the course of the disease. So patients, when they seek medical help early with the common COVID symptoms like fever, severe muscle weakness, myalgia, or headache, or common cold, or loose motions, or other constitutional symptoms like of normal flu, then and if the early treatment is initiated, all these complications can be prevented. So yes, even if the COVID affects the heart in a very serious manner, that risk is less, and that is predominantly in the late stage of the disease. So again, that also can be reduced. Another question which is frequently asked to us is, what is the effect of hydroxychloroquine on the heart, and whether everyone in the population or everyone in the society needs to take hydroxychloroquine. So there are clear guidelines by the ICMR and other concerned authorities in our country who should take hydroxychloroquine and who should not take. So it is not recommended for each and every person in the society should take hydroxychloroquine. There are certain group of patients, high risk patients or healthcare workers. They are supposed to take hydroxychloroquine as a primary prevention to prevent a COVID infection. And there are clear guidelines by the ICMR, and periodically these guidelines are updated. So it has to be taken under physician supervision, and it has to be monitored, because at times this hydroxychloroquine can cause some significant changes in the ECGs, and if they are identified early, the necessary changes or the dose alterations can be done, and some serious abnormal heart beating or life threatening abnormal heart beating like arrhythmias, what we call, can be prevented. One of the other frequent question from the patients is, do they need to come to the OPD regularly in the middle of this COVID crisis? So do not come to OPD physically if you are doing well and if you are taking medicines. Especially it is applicable for those who are above 60, 65, and because they are at a higher risk. So do consult your physician either telephonically or online, and if you are doing well and if there are no symptoms, then you can continue all your same medicines, or of course with your cardiologist or the physician guidance, and physical OPD visit can be avoided as far as possible. So my take home message to you all is, remain happy, achieve that positive state of mind, that is most important. Maintain a good diet, nutrition, take all your medicines regularly, do not panic. At the same time, don't be complacent. There is a good part of COVID infection is overall mortality is less, and second good part is can be if not 0%, it can be its risk can be substantially negated if you take preventive measures like and the three most preventive measures which are found to be effective are hand sanitization, uses of mask, and social distancing. So these three are the game changers, and prevention is the name of the game. So I wish you all happy, healthy life, and I thank Dr. Patil and Dr. Reddy for this opportunity to address this webinar. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, next speaker will be my close friend Dr. Prasad Pore, who is a MD DNB Preventive and Social Medicine and working as a professor at Pune. He has done many more projects with UNICEF and WHO in the past, and he is working as a senior consultant in the field of preventive and social medicine. He will be talking today, which is the most important topic I think, on physical distancing and isolation and post-corona, how the world will change, what precautions we will have to take, and how will be the social life post-corona. Thank you.
Namaskar. Myself Dr. Pore. I'm going to talk about few things about social distancing and how we all have to live with this COVID era and all the things. So first of all, I would like to thank one of my very good friends, Dr. Vaibhav Reddy, for giving me the opportunity to talk in front of you. So to start with, I would like to say one quote. It's actually a WhatsApp message. There really new and new knowledge is coming up, and along with that, we know there are few new symptoms are coming up related with this disease. So this quote is related with that. It says that if you have a loss of sense of smell or loss of sense of taste, these are symptoms of COVID. But what is very importantly is loss of common sense is not a symptom, but it is the reason why you get the disease. So very importantly is the common sense. And what happens most of the times, we all are common man and we don't behave with having a common sense. Without common sense, हम ऐसे behave करते हैं. And that is what I am going to talk about in next few minutes. So first of all, why this common sense is required. We all know that, हम सबको पता है पूरी दुनिया में ये महामारी फैली हुई है, and it started with China, then moved to other countries, and घूम के सभी एरिया में है. अभी हमको ये चेन है, so we want to break this chain of transmission. एक से दूसरे को होना, दूसरे से तीसरे को और 5 लोग, इससे ये हमको जो चेन है ये हमको ब्रेक करना है. That is the first important thing, and we want ourselves as for the prevention purpose. हमको बीमारी नहीं होनी चाहिए, इसलिए हम कुछ कर सकते हैं। इतनी जोर से ये फैली हुई है कि बहुत सारे लोग इस बीमारी से अभी बाधित है। तो अभी वैक्सीन भी नहीं है, टिल एटलीस्ट वैक्सीन कम्स, जब तक वो नहीं आई थी मार्केट में, सबको नहीं मिल सकती, तब तक तो ये बीमारी रहने के चांसेस है। सो हमको सबको मिलके ये मुकाबला करना है, एंड इट इज़ नॉट डिफ़िकल्ट एट ऑल। बहुत कुछ करना है ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, simple steps only we have to take, and through these steps, yes, we can do the things. I'll just say few things. There are so around some 15 promises that I will just going to talk about. So first, stay at home. सबसे अच्छा, बाहर के किसी लोगों के सामने उसके बाजू बाजू में मत आओ. Is it possible? For those who are possible, yes, do it. Especially for those who are old, 60 साल से ज़्यादा उम्र वाले लोग, बच्चे, प्रेग्नेंट लेडी, प्रेग्नेंट महिलाएं, एंड द इंडिविजुअल हु आर हैविंग सम मॉर्बिडिटी, कोमॉर्बिडिटी, जैसे उनको डायबिटीज़ है, हाइपरटेंशन है, हार्ट डिसीज़ है, कोई कैंसर है। अगर जरूरत नहीं है तो बाहर मत निकलो, लेकिन सब लोगों को इट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल, सो फ्यू ऑफ द पीपल हैज़ टू गो आउट। सो व्हाट दे हैव टू टेक प्रिकॉशंस इन दैट सेंस। फर्स्ट, ग्रीट, नमस्कार, किसी के सामने आगे बाजू में मत आओ। फिजिकल कॉन्टैक्ट अवॉइड करना है, दैट इज व्हाट इज फर्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कहीं भी जाओ, ट्राई टू मेंटेन अ फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग। तो वर्ड अभी यू यूज़ कर रहे हैं वो सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कर रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है उससे ज़्यादा बेटर वी विल से अ फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग। हमको लोगों से मिलना है, नहीं तो हम अकेले नहीं रह सकते, लेकिन ये फिजिकली मिलने की ज़रूरत नहीं। अभी तो ऑनलाइन है, मोबाइल है, बहुत सारे ऐप है, वी कैन कनेक्ट टू देम यूजिंग दैट, but physically try to avoid. So whenever you are moving out, try to see that whenever you are going to any shop or there is any queue anywhere, try to maintain the physical distance of at least 6 feet. Why? Because then if the other person is infected, automatically you may not be going to be get infected because of him or her. So physical distancing is very important. Try to follow that. Second one, whenever you are moving out, always wear a mask. Now N95 may not be required for each and everyone, but whatever the mask is there, you have to use it. क्लीन मास्क यूज़ करने में भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, आई एम जस्ट से फ्यू थिंग्स अबाउट दैट। मास्क कैसा चाहिए? पूरा नाक से यहाँ तक कवर होना चाहिए। अभी आपने बहुत सारे लोग देखे होंगे उनका मास्क यहाँ से यहाँ तक है, किसका मास्क यहाँ से यहाँ तक है, बहुत सारे लोगों का तो मास्क गले में बंधा हुआ है, इट्स ऑफ नो यूज। सो मास्क शुड कवर नोज, माउथ एंड टिल चिन। मास्क जब भी बाहर हो तो मास्क पहनना चाहिए। मास्क डोंट टच फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड, क्योंकि जो बाहर का जो सरफेस है इट इज़ डर्टी, एंड इफ यू टच इट ऑल द ऑर्गेनिजम्स विल बी देयर ऑन योर हैंड्स, सो डोंट टच दैट। निकालते समय भी मास्क ऐसे नहीं निकालने का, पीछे से स्ट्रिंग्स को पकड़ के निकालना है एंड डिस्पोज ऑफ प्रॉपर्ली करना है। बहुत बार देखा है मैंने भी, रोड पे भी लोग करते हैं, मास्क नीचे लेते हैं, थूकते हैं, फिर पहनते हैं। क्या चल रहा है ये? नहीं करना है ऐसे। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, डू नॉट गेट हैबिचुएटेड टू योर टोबैको, खैनी जो भी कुछ है वो लोगों को आदत है कुछ, लेकिन कहीं पे भी स्पिट नहीं करना है, थूकने का नहीं, कहीं पे भी नहीं पब्लिक प्लेस पे, क्योंकि उससे हमारे जंतु है वो बाहर आ जाते हैं, वायरसेस, एंड इट मे स्प्रेड द डिसीज। इसलिए मास्क पहनो, पूरा कवर होके, कुछ भी पार्ट ओपन मत छोड़ो। देन हम सब लोगों को आदत रहती है कि इधर उधर हाथ लगो, नाक का हाथ लगो, मुंह का हाथ लगो, ऐसे बैठे बैठे भी लगती है। सो अवॉइड दैट, अवॉइड टचिंग आईज, नोज, माउथ, क्योंकि इफ आवर हैंड्स आर डर्टी देन इट मे गो इन, दैट इज द रीजन। देन यू हैव टू मेंटेन द रेस्पिरेटरी हाइजीन। कभी कभी खांसी आ जाती है, छींक आ जाती है, एंड वी ऑब्वियसली प्रेफरेबली मास्क है तो बेटर है, नहीं तो हैंकरशिप लगा दो, वो भी नहीं है then use like this, तो आम पे आ जाएगा, तो the droplets which are coming out will not be there in the air then, so it is automatically prevented. Then very important thing, the sixth point I am going to talk about, wash hands. कैसे हाथ धोना है? नहीं, there are some steps are there and you have to follow the steps. There are different techniques, some say Suiman, some say Sumanem, whatever it is there, but we have to wash hands with soap and water for at least 60 seconds. Simple steps है, सीधा बाहर से, सो उल्टा, इनसाइड व्हाट वी कैन हैव, राइट, मुट्ठी दैट वी कैन चू, राइट, अंगूठा, राइट, एंड नेल्स, एंड देन यू कैन हैव इवन द मनगट, व्हाट वी से रिस्ट, एंड देन यू हैव टू अप्लाई plenty of soap and wash with water. That is very important. So hand washing is the most important step to live with COVID-19. देन अगर सभी जगह पे सोप वाटर नहीं रहेगा तो क्या कर सकते हैं? सो अल्कोहल बेस्ड सैनिटाइजर, यूज द सेम स्टेप्स एटलीस्ट फॉर 20 seconds. So that we can do. Then 7th point I talked about, so no chewing of tobacco, anything, and spitting has to be stopped. Then avoid touching some of the surfaces. टेबल पे हाथ बैठ के हुए, कहाँ पे किए, लिप में यूज़ किए, कहाँ पे बटन्स किए, तो ट्राई टू अवॉइड. तो इट इज़ पॉसिबल टू अवॉइड लिफ्ट, बेस्ट यूज स्टेयरकेसेस. बट अगेन स्टेयरकेस से भी साथ में सीढ़ी वाली जो बाजू में है हैंडल, उसको पकड़ने का नहीं. इट इज़ गोइंग टू क्रिएट गिव एन एक्सरसाइजेस ऑल्सो, मीन्स एक्सरसाइज भी हो जाएगा आपका और सेहत भी अच्छी बन जाएगी. तो अवॉइड टचिंग द सर्फेसेस, हैंडल्स एंड अवॉइड यूज ऑफ लिफ्ट. कब्जे पे करना पड़ती है तो ट्राई टू अवॉइड द सर्फेसेस, एंड अगर सर्फेस को टच करना पड़ा तो क्लीन करो. एंड ऑफिसेस में और जहाँ पे जगह है वहाँ पे दैट फ्रीक्वेंटली क्लीनिंग एंड डिसइंफेक्टिंग द surfaces with usually we use 1% sodium hypochlorite that can be used. Then avoid unnecessary travel. अभी तो ट्रैवल बहुत जगह पे बैन है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट टू डिस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं जा सकते, तो नहीं मत जाओ. अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो ही जाओ, अदरवाइज मत जाओ. देन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, अभी ना थोड़ा सा स्टिग्मा बहुत है डिसीज, लोग डर भी रहे हैं, अरे इसको है. डोंट डिस्क्रिमिनेट पीपल, ये किसी को भी हो सकता है. डोंट डिस्क्रिमिनेट पीपल टू द एक्सटेंट पॉसिबल. आइदर हेल्प. क्राउड नहीं करने का है, इकट्ठा बहुत लोग आने का ही नहीं, बिकॉज इट विल इंक्रीज द स्प्रेड. कोई हैबिट बन चुकी है, कोई भी आया अगर गले मिल लेते हैं, हाथ मिला लेते हैं, इकट्ठा मिल के बातें करते थे, बट देन द सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग और द फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग विल नॉट बी मेंटेन. सो अवॉइड दैट. देन फ्यू मोर थिंग्स, बिकॉज वी हैव टू लिव विद दिस कोविड, सो फ्यू मोर थिंग्स. Do not circulate any message which is not verified or having negative. We want to create a positive, we can say, mental attitude. So ऐसे कोई भी मैसेज मत फॉरवर्ड करो. देन आपको सही जानकारी चाहिए तो ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट्स चेक करो. मैं एक ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट का नाम बता देता हूँ. आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू से वन नेम. इट्स www.mohfw.gov.in. It is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India's website. You will get all official guidelines, the material for general public, for hospitals and lot of things, how to do in the offices, what will there for the religious places. So lot of all such information is available there. Then if you are having any doubt, call a toll-free number. So toll-free number at national level is 1075, or even a state line for state of Maharashtra, it is 020-2612 7394, or simple number, remember, 1075. So call them if you are having any query. Then if you feel somewhat disturbed, stressed, sometimes mental health challenges are also there, mental health issues are also there, so contact your near and dear one. Take help from people. Doctors are there to help all the individuals, so take help of them so that you can prevent the infection and live happily, conduct your all the activities routinely. So I'll just repeat the few important points how we can live with. First, stay at home, or if possible we have to move out, then maintain a physical distancing. Namaste. So not touching the person, wear the mask, avoid touching eye, nose and everywhere. Maintain a respiratory hygiene, wash hands, very important. Don't spit, that is very bad in public places. Regularly cleaning, good sanitation is obviously, so that is with habit. So मुझे कभी कभी लगता है अगर इसमें से हमने फॉलो किया तो नॉट ओनली कोरोना से हम लड़ पाएंगे, बाकी जो बीमारियां हैं, रेस्पिरेटरी इलनेसेस, वो भी हम कम कर सकेंगे इसके हिसाब से. अवॉइड अननेसेसरी. डोंट स्टिग्मेटाइज एनीवन. डोंट गो इनटू द क्राउड में नहीं जाने का, क्राउड करने का ही, दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. डोंट स्प्रेड एनी मैसेजेस ऑन व्हाट्सएप विच आर नॉट ऑथेंटिक. Always check government website for the guideline. Toll-free number 1075. And if you are having some requirements, take us help of doctors, some support and all that. So at the last, I just wanted to say only 3 things. Very easy to remember. It's my own subject. PSM. P, physical distancing. Maintain that. S, plenty of use of soap, water, hand sanitation. That has been done. And use of mask. So if we follow these, then we can live a very good life with a positive attitude in this COVID area. So thank you very much. Thanks all. Namaste.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker will be Dr. Kaustubh K. Mench, MA General Surgery, who is also the professor of Department of Surgery at CPR Hospital, Kolhapur. And he is working as a dedicated COVID worker and 100% giving his efforts to treat the corona patients. and he will be sharing his experiences, how the government is working, what protocol the government is following, and what are the efforts taken by the government and the government workers for the common man. Thank you very much.
Hello friends, I am Dr. Kaustubh Mej. I am Associate Professor in Surgery in Government Medical College, Kolhapur. Today, I will be talking about my experience working as a doctor in a dedicated COVID care hospital. At the outset, I'd like to clarify that the views expressed here are my own. They do not relate or reflect any official government policy. When we first heard of this pandemic, it was decided to divide our hospital into two zones, COVID and non-COVID. This was essential because we are still providing services for a lot of non-COVID emergencies like surgical emergencies, fractures, deliveries, medical emergencies like poisoning, snake bite, stroke, heart attacks, pediatric emergencies like low birth weight babies and premature babies are also being treated at our hospital. In the COVID zone of the hospital, we had different sections. Any person coming with cough, cold, fever was first seen in the flu OPD. If he had significant fever or difficulty in breathing, he was then referred to the next section, which is the corona screening OPD. Along with such patients, the screening OPD also received travelers from red zone areas and contacts of known positive patients. In the screening OPD, all suspected patients were sent for swabs. All suspected patients were admitted in corona suspected patients ward. After 24 to 48 hours, we receive the swab reports. Positive patients are then shifted from corona suspect ward to COVID positive ward, where they receive treatment according to the established protocols. Swab negative patients are sent to an institutional quarantine facility near their homes. Now, there are some swab negative patients who are suffering from coexisting medical illness which requires hospital care. These patients are transferred to the non-COVID part of the hospital where they get treatment. As for allocation of staff for the COVID hospital, we have deputed 50% of all hospital staff along with doctors to COVID care. All staff receive prior orientation and training in the form of lectures and workshops. All staff are provided with adequate PPE kits. The staff are divided into different teams for different sections of the COVID hospital. There are teams for flu OPD. Similarly, there are teams for corona screening OPD, COVID positive and COVID suspect wards, as well as teams for working in COVID IC. Rotation of duties is designed in such a way so as to ensure that each person gets some off time, and we try to reduce as much as possible the exposure time of our workers to the virus. Being a medical college, we can allot different jobs to different departments or different specialties in the hospital. The social medicine department is responsible for collection and reporting of data. Microbiology is responsible for testing and reporting of throat swabs. The actual taking of throat swabs is done by ENT. Anesthesia, pulmonary medicine, and internal medicine are responsible for the treatment of critical patients in COVID ICU. Pediatric department is responsible for all COVID positive and COVID suspect children admitted in a separate ward. There is a team comprised of senior doctors which looks after day-to-day administrative matters. We were helped a lot by staff from the district disaster management cell. They were especially helpful when transporting patients to quarantine and for providing food to the patients admitted in the hospital. Police presence ensured that travelers especially comply with quarantine instructions. In conclusion, I feel coordinated effort by all concerned departments helped us give our best and ensured efficient provision of services in this pandemic time. I would especially like to appreciate the dedication and commitment of our young doctors, our interns, and our residents, as well as junior nursing staff who are working tirelessly in the COVID wards and ICU. The battle continues. Together, we can succeed. Thank you.
I would like to thank Professor Dr. Sanjeev Reddy, Professor Patil sir, and all the staff of Siddhi Seva Bhavi Sanstha. Also, I would like to thank my closest friends who spared their precious time just on my one call and they prepared for this webinar. Also, I am thankful to the viewers who took their time out, and I request you all to spread or to share this info to your near and dear ones and the closer ones. Thank you very much.